Good evening, racing fans, and welcome back to the channel. We are back with our weekend preview, especially highlighting, I suppose, the Epsom Derby and the Epsom Oaks on Friday and Saturday. We've got 6 races in total to look at this week, and this is basically the return of the weekly weekend previews. A little bit of the mouthful, and we also have our National Hunt season review being recorded tomorrow as well, so that'll be out in no time too. As usual, I am joined by Mr. Jaime Wrenn. How are things, Jamie? We've had a little bit of a break, but we're back. Got some good flat racing to look at.
Good job, busy, and yourself?
Yeah, good mate, good. Nice to be back on with you, and hopefully we can find a few winners. Liam, we haven't really got into the swing of things since you've joined the squad, but we are back. And how is everything your end? You had a pretty good month of punting. Well, massively in profit through May, weren't you?
Yeah, about 43 points. First of all, you make that sound like it's my fault, Joe. So sorry.
No, it's
um,
brilliant. It's good.
but yeah, good month last
Jesus,
month.
if he's 43 points up, don't tell the tip tracker. Fucking
Yeah,
hell.
that's it, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Look, but no one else is going to pat us on the back, so I'm here for us, Liam. Look, it's been a good month, mate, hasn't it?
It has, yeah, decent month. Had a few nice price winners. Yeah, so just need to continue that now, obviously through to the rest of the year. I'd made a run for my own back. I was around about minus 60 points, kind of going into the Cheltenham Festival, and it's a weird game, isn't it? When you got no confidence, you don't think you can find a winner for love nor money, and then once you start banging them in, it's
Yeah.
the confidence makes the world of difference. So yeah, long may it continue.
It is really an insane turnaround, to be fair. You've done so hard to get out of it. Mine's been pretty steady. I'm about 11 points in the profit. I want more, but we can build on it from here. Right, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Welcome back. Really am trying to show some motivation to be back. But I am actually really looking forward to this weekend. I've got a few strong opinions to make about some horses. If you're new to the channel, please do like and subscribe. And let's get into the good stuff. 6 races, and we're going to do 2 on Friday, 2 on Saturday, and then we're going to finish off by doing the Derby and the Oaks. And on Friday, we start off in the 205, the Betfred EBF Woodcote Stakes over 6 furlongs. Pretty decent bunch of horses in here. We've got Maximised at 6 to 4 for Godolphin, Havana Hurricane for Eve Johnson, Hooton been well supported into 4 to 1, Logie Bear for Richard Hannon and Jamie Spencer at 13 to 2. Norman's K, really impressive winner on debut, just got up. Looks like the trip's going to suit at 8 to 1. Rakeb for Richard Hannon again at 12 to 1. And any price you like for the remainder. Favourites interesting here. One at Haydock over 6 furlongs, beating odds on stablemate. Did go clear, sort of like a furlong out, and did well to stay on and hold off for the victory. Never really looked like getting caught, to be honest. But Jamie, we got the right or wrong favourite here in the Woodcote.
Total wrong favourite.
Mm.
Um, Took a long time to go on the day, like I thought so. I think Maximize could do another step up and trip. 11 to 2 that day was a time to tell was the name of the horse that was 8 to 13. Buick picked, but if you watch back the race, got a severe duck to the right coming out of the stalls. So the next time to tell runs, I'll be backing that. Exactly what you said, being well backed. I'm all over Havana Hurricane here. The form being franked by beat the way it travelled into the Goodwood and put
Yeah.
Logie Bear to the sword, beat Logie Bear, did Logie Bear won very impressively last day. Newmarket, quite simple. I think it's between Havana Hurricane and Logie Bear, but on the form of the way Havana Hurricane beat Logie Bear at Goodwood, 4 to 1 to find out is still a cracking price, and I think it'll win, yeah.
Yeah, love that, James. I am a fan of Havana Hurricane. I am going to give the edge, though, to Logie Bear. So we're on sort of a similar track there. Maximised, went forward last time at Haydock, like we said, off made all from the front. That is probably going to suit a closer. And Logie Bear finished really strongly last time out. What I do like about that as well, we've got Jamie Spencer on board. This could be one of these classic Jamie Spencer rides. He edges it for me on the basis that he's 13 to 2. We can back him each way, and he bolted up when he went to Newmarket over 6 furlongs. And what I like about this horse as well is that he does his best work late on as well. The fact you can back him 13 to 2 each way works nicely for me because he's not going to be any closer than what he is right at the end of the race. So I'll take Logie Bear there. I think the race will set up well for him if Maximise goes forward. Liam, have you got a fancy in the 205?
This is the sort of race that I'd probably be betting once a year, Joe, and this is not
Yeah,
the once a year in this
yeah.
sort of race. I think the lack of
Oh,
form there. I think the money that's come for Havana Hurricane and also
yeah.
the unraced horse further down the field, there's been a few quid for, which is interesting. But with so many unknowns, mate, this is the sort of race I couldn't pick apart. If you had to push me, I'd certainly be in the same camp as Jamie there.
Perfect. No point forcing winners or losers because we lose out in the long run. So nothing wrong with that, Liam. We'll move on to the 240 at Epsom. We have the Coronation Cup. The Group 1 over 1 mile, 4 furlongs. Really classy race this. Especially at the head of the market, we've got Calandigan coming over from France, Mikel Barcelona in the saddle at 4 to 6. Jan Bruegel for Ballydoyle. In fact, for Aidan O'Brien and Tabor and Westerson, etc. 4 to 1, Giavolotto at 8 to 1 for Marco Botti and Oisin Murphy. 12 to 1, bar those, is You Got to Me, and any price you like for the rest. I've actually got a strong fancy from a betting proposition, but Calandigan probably is the best horse in the race, Liam, do we think?
Yeah, I would have thought so. And yeah, he'll probably take some beating, but obviously, I'll always try and find something to take on something that short and towards the head of the market. And Givalotto is the one for me with O'Sheen on board. Only £3 to find on official ratings. If you look at his form over the course of the last couple of seasons, whenever he's returned from the Middle East, he's then won on reappearance back
Ah,
in the UK. Both of those runs were in the Yorkshire Cup. Obviously, he followed up and won that 2 years on the bounce. He's only £3 to find with him. I think if you had to force me into a bet, and I potentially may even stick him up, I think I'll probably have another look closer to the time. But yeah, he'll have to reverse that form from Maidan with Glandigan, but I think he potentially can. I think obviously he just comes on for a couple of runs towards the early parts of the season. So yeah, I'd be with him.
yeah, I love that, mate, because I'm the same big fan of Giavolotto here. I think the 8 to 1 is just far too big. You can get 3 places on that as well, make profit with this one finishing the first three. And he is by far clear, apart from Calandigan on ratings. He's going to be there or thereabouts. Like you said, he won the Group 1 Hong Kong Vase. He's beat Vauban. He won the Princess of Wales. He was second to Kyprios. The form stacks up really nicely. Consistent. Like you said, he's only £3 behind Calandigan. No way he should be 8 to 1. Jamie, at the same time, right? I've been looking at this field a few times, and Jan Bruegel could just improve into anything now, couldn't he? I don't know if he's a selection or not, but regardless, he could be ready for a personal best now off that comeback, couldn't he?
Well, yeah, after comeback, I agree with you because it was over 10 furlongs, up to a mile and a half.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put you off to each way. Well, Jan Brugel's not at an each way price, but no. And the same with Chiavalato. The only thing is like 4 to 6 to find out Calandigan, who duffs the start sometimes and most of the
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah,
And
true.
he's a string of twos next to his name, but the form is there to be seen. City of Troy and Matt. He was second in Maidan. I think he'll win anyway, regardless. But I wouldn't put you off Giavalato. I mean, like the only thing is, like Glendon should be two cup horses in my book. Like Jan Vergel won the St. Edger and Giavalato won Yorkshire Cups. Like they're cup horses. They shouldn't be in this race, to be honest with you. But look, they're looking for a soft mile and a half race. But Glendon, by far the best form. 4 to 6 find out I won't have a bet in the race. I wouldn't back Giavalato either. But Jan Brughel, yeah, definitely have a chance because he won the mile and four at Goodwood last year. But he's a plodder, so you know he's a plodder. But
Yeah,
he's
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 just one like with age, though, isn't he? He could just
yeah.
get better the bigger and stronger he gets,
Mhm.
possibly. Is he a Gold Cup horse in time?
No, he won't beat Illinois in the Gold Cup. So that's fine there. I'm happy
Cool.
with my 8 to 1 that I said earlier in
Yeah.
another show. But Clandigan will win, yeah. But I won't be having a bet in the race.
Okay, we will move on to Saturday's race, and we're going to look at the two races before we highlight the two big races. The 1 o'clock at Epsom, we have the Princess Elizabeth of Wales Stakes, the Group 3 over 1 mile, half a furlong. It's actually sponsored by Oddschecker. Skelet rated 104 at 11 to 2. Bermuda Longtail for Andrew Bolden at 6 to 1. Royal Dress for James Tate at 6 to 1. Serona for David Minussier at sevens. Spiritual at sevens. Bright Thunder at eights. Quite an open looking race. I think I have a fairly strong fancy in the field. Liam, anything standing out for you here?
More than likely, I'll be following you then, mate, if you got a strong fancy.
Okay,
The
fine.
few that did jump off the page to me, I then just started looking through the form and thinking they need a little bit more cut in the ground. The likes of Sparks Fly, Serona, obviously Ryan Moore's
Yeah.
dropped up on. Royal Dress, perhaps not as ground dependent, but they just started raising flags for me. Sheik Columbine was interesting, given the amount of money that's come for that horse. But you have to have an awful lot of faith that she's resolved whatever issues that horse
Yeah.
has had. Two poor starts at the back end of last season, two poor starts this season, and the wind up doesn't seem to have quite done the job, but has been very well supported. So I'm just going to follow you in, mate, on this one.
Fine. Well, I will get mine off my chest now, Jamie and Liam. I like Skellet, the 4-year-old. Really, really consistent filly. Now, she is the 11-2 favourite here, which I don't really like backing, but she is the one I fancy. Really consistent horse. The only filly in here that brings proper Group 1 form into the race as well. She's only got 5 lengths to find of Opera Singer, 5 lengths to find of Porter Fortuna, 6 lengths to find of Fallen Angel. These are proven Group 1 horses, and she's not too far behind them as well. She's only a 4-year-old now, very consistent, likely to still be improving. And for me, she's just one that's got the classy form in the race. Bermuda Longtail's interesting here for Andrew Bolden because she stays well, relatively inexperienced, but she's open to plenty. It's just difficult for a 3-year-old to go on and win a race like this, but she is here to win, but she might just find it a little bit deep as a 3-year-old. But 4-year-old Skellet for me, 11-2. I think she's a really solid bet here. I expect her to go off around 3-1, 5-2 on the day. Jamie?
I like spiritual in this, Joe, each way. Won a listed race on soft ground. Exactly what Liam said. I'm judging on it if there's enough rain, and it's between Sirona
Mm.
and spiritual, but I'm going with spiritual because I think Sirona needs really, really testing ground, but I don't think it's going to get into the ground that much. Where if it's good soft, I like spiritual. It was a good run last day in the grade three. Finished about what 3/4 of a length third in a list. Grade three actually, a
Yeah.
Lingfield 9-1. The form behind Tom Fana on the 31st of August last year on good ground, 3 lengths behind Tom Fana in the Grade 3 Fillies race that day is what latched me onto her. And if there's a bit of rain and a small bit of cut in the ground, that price to find out each way, I go with Spiritual instead of Cerrone, yeah. But I like Bowden.
She is the filly as well, spiritual. That could just find
Yeah,
something out of nowhere as well, don't you?
yeah,
Feel like there could just be
yeah.
some big improvement inside. Okay, well, on to the 135. We've got the grade 3 1 mile Diamond Stakes. I have no say in this race whatsoever, gent. So, Jane, we'll come to you first and see if you've got anything stand out, really.
Uh, I take on the fair running all day. I know it's been running on Group 1s. The top two have been running in Grade 1s. Like, I'm not a stat man, no interest in it, but Docklands has actually never won a stakes race. And it's been in all grade threes, grade ones. It still hasn't won a grade race or list race. Where Persica has won the grade three at Newmarket the Earl of Sefton last day. And the form of that race when it won, I think, was he one of your horses last year, John? That lucky he may have been last year in Epsom. He won a handicap on the Friday or Saturday of Epsom, and he was really impressed. Now, that was rating of 92. Now he's off 112.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
the way he won at Newmarket that day, and he's back at Epsom. I know he was eighth of last of the lock-ins, but they tried a grade one and they failed, unfortunately. This is his level Group 3, and the way he won last year in the handicap on, I think it was a Saturday, yeah, I backed him, I didn't I backed him. It's because of track form, I'm going with Persica to beat Docklands, yeah, but it's between two of my the rest of the no chance.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Liam, can you split that decision of Jamie's, or have you got one big
No,
or
he's
nothing?
he's read me notes.
Oh, good.
It was
That's
literally
good.
the course form that was doing it for me. Obviously, he's got to concede the £3 to Docklands, even though there's £2 to find on official ratings, which
Yeah.
seems bizarre. But yeah, obviously Ryan Moore on board. It'll be hard race fit. He's had 3 starts. Does need to put his last one behind him, but if he does that, I'd certainly at the prices rather be with him.
Okay, nice one, boys. Right then, well, we're going to move on to the 2 highlight races of the week. I've been really looking forward to these, I must be honest, especially with the Derby this year having 19 runners. There probably is a fair amount of dead wood in the race, but it's still good to see that we've got a deep field because it'll be interesting to see how the start of the race pans out, tactics, a few bits and bobs like that. I was just going to get the draw bias up as well. There's been quite an interesting few draw positions. The Lion and Winter lads, we might as well just briefly touch on the Ballydoyle pair, I suppose. Um, for me, this is a major worry that Ryan Moore is not on board the Lion in Winter because they haven't necessarily been talking about Delacroix like he's Auguste Rodin or City of Troy. And if anything, the only one that there has been a lot of hype talk about has been the Lion in Winter. Um, the draw 19, is that the only thing that swayed Ryan Moore, or is he just way behind schedule? Liam?
I think, Joe, potentially that you can actually. Oh no, sorry. Yes. So no, I don't think it is. I think it's also the fact that he was so buzzy and free. I know it was his first start of the season in the Dante, and I think you probably would have been getting odds on for Ryan Moore to ride the line in winter, wouldn't
Yeah,
you? The
yeah,
start of the season, he was very much touted as the one.
yeah.
But the sales pitch has not come out from Aidan O'Brien this year in the same way it did around City of Troy and Auguste Rodin. We had City of Troy, who was the reincarnation of Jesus Christ himself.
Yeah.
Auguste Rodin with this mythical £40 million supposed
Yeah.
bid from Japan
Yeah.
for his breeding rights and everything like that. Delacroix, I was quite impressed with in terms of his turner's foot. His finishing speed percentage was really good at Leopardstown, but that was really steadily run. I think you can take both of those on, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm exactly the same. And just to confirm, when I said about Ryan Moore not riding the Lion in Winters, no disrespect to Colin Keane because he's amazing. But Colin Keane isn't the one that has the decision on which he gets to ride. And Ryan Moore rides these every day. He can't be confident in the Lion in Winter because, he was confident enough to get back on August Rodan on the City of Troy. Delacroix, Jamie, he won the Bally Sacks at Leopardstown. He then won the Derby Trial at Leopardstown again. Very good horse, very straightforward. But both these runs have come over 1 mile, 2 furlongs. Um, and my personal view is that he is a 10 furlong horse. He's a Dubawi out of a horse called Tepin. It's not really your generic Derby profile. I'd be worried about him staying, although I think he's classy enough still to finish in the top three with what we've got. What do you think about the pair of them, really?
The two O'Brien horses, well, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be put off by Colin Keane on the Line of Winter, but was it one horse in this century is one off in the stall at 19, and it nearly broke my heart when I saw stall 19. So I might
Sure.
as well throw that in the bloody bin anyway
Yeah,
and
okay.
forget about it. Delacroix, I couldn't have either. I don't like the way his tail is. He's feeling something. Watch him. I don't think he'll handle Epsom. That's just me, and I think exactly what you're saying, Joe. He's a 10 furlong horse.
Yeah.
So O'Brien might struggle to have the winner this year.
Yeah, I
Um,
I think he
I love the Line of Winter. He's going to win grade Group One, sorry, in the future. But stall 19, you want to be some horse to win from there.
Yeah, he's got to just come on massively, hasn't he, as well? I know he won the Acom as a 2-year-old, but he was sixth in the Dante, and he never really it could we don't talk about this as often these days, but it could just be the case, especially with O'Brien horses, because they generally do train on, but he might just have not trained on into a top class 3-year-old. That could just be the simple answer. I like what you said about Delacroix there, though, handling the course because it's very similar to ruling court at Newmarket. This is what I liked about him. Even when the dip came, then they went to the undulation part. He was fine. He had no worries at all. He will probably handle Epsom quite well. 2,000 guineas winner by Justify, so he should stay. At the point of the Guineas, ruling court was the only entry for Godolphin in the Derby. I do think that speaks volumes. I think he's the best horse in the race, no doubt. It's just a case of whether he will quite see that trip out. Now he's out of a dam who's by High Chaparral, who of course won the Derby. You should expect there's at least a chance that there's plenty of stamina on side. Um, I mean, look, he won for us nicely. I put him up Ante-Post at 11-1, and he won the Guineas, so he owes us nothing. But I do quite fancy him again here. Jamie, are you on his side as well? I think he'll stay. Do you?
My original way I always pick Derby horses, Joe, is if you're a decent miler, you're going to win a mile and two, mile and a half, and this horse will. Exactly what you said at the breeding, and every year, it doesn't matter what it is, I always look to the Guineas to find a Derby winner. It's a proven method. I don't care what anyone says. Look at the way he City of Troy and Augusta Rodin have campaigned. He didn't do that with the Line of Winter, and that's what's putting me off now. The Line of Winter and Delacroix. Do you know what I mean? Like you always knew, like Delacroix, the old way
Yeah.
of O'Brien was Bally Sacks, Derrenstown. But no, he's got the guineas. He's trying to be cute now this year by doing the Dante as a trying to put, mix it up a bit. Do you know what I mean? And put people off, which he's done. But the draw for Lion Winter, unfortunately, is that. But ruling court, yeah, I think he'll stay. I think in the Guineas he was going away anyway. He was idling, do you know what I mean? And he has the right man on board. And he's like exactly what Buick said. I have the best two horses. So
Yeah.
I like that confidence.
And
There's few each way against him, I would say that. But there's two I
not,
like each way. But I think now, I love the Lion Winter, and I think there's massive potential there. But I think now, with the draw, and he's got a great draw in 7, like ruling court, I think he'll go off favourite. I think Delacour will drift in them.
yeah, it's not like the Guineas form hasn't worked out, is it? Obviously, Fielder goal bolted up in the Irish 2000 Guineas. It's the
Mhm.
form is staring you in the face. It'd be interesting as well because I think Buick's going for trying to be the first person who wins the Irish, wins the 1,000 Guineas, the 2,000 Guineas, the Oaks, and the Derby in one year. And then, of course, if they win this, who's to say that Godolphin aren't going to chuck ruling court up to a ledger or find something else to give Buick the opportunity and Godolphin to win all 5. Lester Piggott managed to win 4 of the 5 classics. He was let down in the Oaks. So if William Buick can win the Oaks on Desert Flower, then he's already ahead in that case. Anyway, but Liam, I don't think you're not a fan of ruling court, but you like some bigger priced sort of fancies in general. Is there anything further down the market for you in this event?
I do. Sorry, two things I probably should have touched on just with regards to Delacroix. I
Yeah.
think the only another concern would perhaps just be his temperament. He shipped Lorden off, didn't he, on the way down to the start?
Oh, okay. I didn't
He
know.
had 2 stall handlers on his last start at Leopardstown. The line in winter, I appreciate he's bombed out a little bit, but and I'm a bit sick of this from Aidan O'Brien, to be completely frank.
Okay.
But stop using classics as prep races to get your horses
Yeah,
fit.
yeah, yeah. Sure.
Auguste Rodin and City of Troy out the back of the telly in the 2000 Guineas, weren't they, the last 2 years? And then they obviously completely turned it around. So anybody who's got slips on the line in winter, I wouldn't be burning them just yet. Funny you
I just
mentioned.
burnt it this afternoon, Liam.
Sorry,
Yeah,
go on, mate.
got rid.
I just burnt it this
Too
afternoon.
late, too late.
Too late.
It's funny you mentioned something at a big price. No, Joe, my selection is 3rd in the market. I was really taken by
Pride of Aris.
Pride of Arias in the
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Dante. I thought he showed a brilliant turn of foot. He didn't get everything his own way. He was boxed in slightly, and him and Rosser had to be pretty brave to find a gap and kind of power through to the line. It's what's really interested me is the stuff that Rafe Beckett and Ross Ryan have been saying subsequently. The fact that we've not got to the bottom of this horse, he'll come on for this run,
Yeah, yeah.
and the fact that he's won over that trip and won so convincingly. I really like him. I know a lot's been made about the draw, so I'm going to have to consult some notes. It's something I posted a little bit earlier on X,
Yeah.
so apologies to those who perhaps have already seen it.
Oh, sure.
But with regards to this panic around the draw that he's got in 16, I think it's nonsense. So 15 of the last 25 renewals didn't even have 16 runners. There wasn't even a stall 16.
There you go. There you
So
go.
that's 60% of them gone straight away.
Myth busting straight away.
And then from the 10 that there were, the prices those horses went off at were 28 to 1, 150, 20s, 50s, 33s. Essentially, it was an average price of 36 to 1. These horses.
Wow. And that's why it's important, like you say, Liam, to have the substance with these stats, isn't it? It's literally just highlights that.
Absolutely, yeah. The stats are all well and good, but if you actually need to, as you say, look at the substance of them. So there was no horse essentially shorter than 9 to 1 in stall 16.
Wow.
80% of the runners that have gone from that stall have been priced at 20 to 1 or bigger. This is a 5 to 1 shot. He's won a trial in the lead up to it. I hope that he keeps drifting because he's in stall 16. And yeah, maybe more for me, but I'll go in again if he gets any bigger.
Yeah, lovely. Love that. I love that. Okay. Well, I'm on the fence with Pride of Aris. I can't really make haste of how I think he's going to run. I think he'll either run a huge race or I find he'll just tactically struggle. But I do really like him as a horse. Anything to add on Pride of Aris there, Jamie? Whichever way the camera's.
No, he's absolutely no chance. Sorry, Liam.
Oh, game on. Game on. Well, there's one at a bigger price I quite like, not necessarily for win purposes, but if we're going to take a look to the future, I am a big fan of Lambourne at 14 to 1. He's got stamina in abundance. He was second in the Derby trial to Delacroix, he was closing all of the time. He was only doing his best work late on. I think this is going to be their St. Ledger horse. If you look at the market there, you've got Delacroix, Ruling Court, and Pride of Arras ahead of him. If you want to find a race that's going to suit Lambourne, then it's the Ledger. He's got guaranteed stamina for start. Um, Up in trip is when we'll see the best of him. Wouldn't be putting anyone off to back him before the weekend because I think he's going to stay on really nicely this week as well. Looking at the race, there's actually quite a bit of pace on. I think in the Epsom Derby this year, we've got Midak who's just been supplemented over from France. Beautiful pedigree on this one, very likely to go forward. That will set it up for horses like Lambourne. So he would be my each way play in the race. But for me, lads, it's going to be Ruling Court who wins the Derby. Hopefully, you can back up that Guineas. Jaime, who do you think wins? Or have you got anything else to add?
Oh, I think Ruling Court will win. The two each way against the field. I like your shout in Lambourne. Yeah, he's a ledge horse. But
Yeah.
is the Queen's Vase at Ascot a 3-year-old only mile and six race, isn't it? I'm almost certain it is. Yeah, I think it is. I think if it bombs out here, Joe, no offense, I this will win the Queen's Vase at Ascot.
Well, it might do.
He's in my head for that. Two I like. One is obvious, and a lot of people are going to latch onto this horse. Is Stanhope Gardens been campaigning it to be a Derby horse. Do you think it was third on debut at Sandown to Ruling Court, beating five and
Yeah,
a three-quarter lengths? First then in a Mickey Mouse race. Then it was second, beating the neck in Newmarket at Delacroix.
that's
60 to
right.
1.
Yeah.
And then they're messing around. Exactly what Liam said. Aidan O'Brien, stop messing around with
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
You know, but what would they do with Stanhope Gardens? What, run him over 7 furlongs in
Yeah.
Salisbury? Is that not a tip in itself? He's a massive danger each way to Ruling Court, but the form at Ruling Court. But you got to be eye catching. Look, I'm not a fella for lightning strikes twice, but exactly what you said, the pedigree of this Midak. I watched the race today
Oh,
actually.
good.
Buffalo. Oh my God, the turn of foot.
Yeah.
Uh, the last time Barcelona and Mr. Fabra. Now I know this is from Henri Graffard. Last time Barcelona won this trial on a horse, Pour Moi, won and came over and won the
Yeah.
Derby, one of the most famous derbies. It's the pedigree, Joe.
Yeah.
Footsteps in the sand.
Lovely.
2,000 guineas. Minya, don't know it, but the Minya's sire was in there,
Yeah. Yeah.
won a Derby. Do you know what I mean? They supplemented him, and you have to take note of that, regardless of
Totally.
this. But
They're going to go forward as well. They're going to
they're
go
going to go forward as well.
forward.
So, if you have a three for me, Ruling Court, I think will win, but massive shouts each way from Dak and Stanhope Gardens. Yeah.
That's not how it goes. Okay. And Liam, a win selection and an each way if you've got both.
No, I'm put all chips in.
All in on
Pride of our eyes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
yeah,
course,
yeah.
of course. Sorry, mate. Yeah, okay. Well, there you go. Two for Ruling Court, one for Pride of Arras, and hopefully we have found you the winner between us. Right, we're going to move on to the Oaks then for the fillies, a race that I've always really enjoyed watching. Used to love it. I may remember when Ouija Board won her Oaks. She was a filly that I really liked under Kieran Fallon. Good race we've got, I think, actually, because we've got Desert Flower for Godolphin head in the market at a short price, and then we've got three from the O'Brien camp there trying to tail her and obviously take her on. You've got Mini Hawk at 4-1. We've got Whirl at 7-1, and then Giselle at 8-1. Now, we don't know if any of these are sure to stay, but I do think that Desert Flower, favorite backer over here this weekend, but I think she's going to be, I think she's going to be really hard to beat. You've got to travel well around Epsom. She's a really smooth traveller and very straightforward. Where if you look at Giselle, she can be really keen. Mini Hawk took a little bit of time to get up to win that Cheshire Oaks. Whirl's a really interesting one, though. Just don't know if she's quite good enough, maybe. I just think that Desert Flower's the one to back here. She won, obviously, the Guineas on her first start, and she is actually open to much more improvement. So, straight up a word there for the favourite. Anything to add on the Godolphin filly boys?
She's an absolute good thing.
Okay.
Nothing will beat her.
We go. In the words of Jaime.
That
Good.
not exactly. Go down through them. I'll briefly go on Mini Hawk, RPR of 109. It is 17 pounds officially defined with Desert Flower. I mean, like, I'd run faster than Mini Hawk. No offense to anybody. Whirl,
You've got long legs, James. So
yeah. Whirl, Whirl won the Musadora in style. I know, yeah, but what did it beat? Giselle at Lingfield. I mean, like, pulled in a three-runner race. I think Giselle is a horse to follow.
Yeah, I agree.
further down the line, further back. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? 10
yeah,
furlongs, even a mile. I let her go off a mile. I
yeah.
would.
This is the
I
thing, and because she's keen, and we've only got a small field here,
Yeah,
it's not going to
it's not
help us
ideal.
at all.
She'd probably be better off in the Derby field. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying?
exactly that.
I suppose the interesting one, 10 to 1 to find out was the supplement of Velveteen. Wouldn't it be
Okay.
bittersweet for Sideminster Roar for Shadwell
Oh, it'd
to
be lovely.
stick it up someone's whatever
Sure.
and win. But I suppose the only thing I suppose you want to be very critical about Desert Flower in 1,000 guineas, that Flight and Simmering were absolutely awful in the 2000, sorry, 1,000 guineas
Yeah, they
in
were,
Takara.
weren't they? They were. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but going back again to Liam Firkin's point, Hayden O'Brien stopped doing trials in the
Yeah,
classic,
yeah. Sure, of course,
winning
of course.
absolutely like an absolute
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
aeroplane in 1,000 guineas in the car. Like, do you know what I
Sure,
mean? So
sure,
that's the other
sure.
side of it. But I will say, I think it's a two-horse race. I think it's Desert Flower and each way play is because they supplemented her. They did it for a reason, and it's Albertine. The rest, I wouldn't have be interested in any of them.
Yeah, yeah, nice. And like I said, if he's willing to supplement her as well, he must think plenty of her. It's just a new, she's just inexperienced. We don't really
Yeah,
know where she's at, do we? Liam?
No, I think that she's solid in terms of price. I think she's a solid and respected favourite. I just think that you can have doubts over whether she's going to get the trip. And if there's enough doubt there in my mind to take on a horse that's 6 to 4, then I'll certainly try and find something. Did find something in Tips Up a few weeks ago, but I'm sure we'll get onto the rest of the field shortly, Joe.
Yeah, sure, sure. Okay, well, we've got an interesting one in Whirl. Is she good enough really? Is it again? It's interesting. Ryan Moore's chosen Mini Hawk when I think at the beginning of the season they thought Giselle was going to be the Oaks horse, and then like we said, Whirl won the Musiadora, but he's still siding with Mini Hawk. Out of the Ballydor runners, who do you fancy, Liam?
Giselle.
Giselle, interesting. Simple as that. Is that the same? Is that the same for you then? Pretty much, is it, Jane? But more of a longer term prospect. It doesn't
I
look.
think
It doesn't look.
I think she's more of a long-term prospect. I'm very worried about if they go very slow at the start. I think she'll be very hard to settled in her head. But now, look, the other side of it, Joe, she might settle on the day. That was the freshest got out of her Lingfield. But I think she'd be better mile or 10 furlong horse, to be honest with you. If she's as keen as she was in Lingfield, I don't think she'll stay.
Yeah, she wouldn't have a chance if she is that keen. That's,
No.
that's simple, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Who's Liam backed here then? Right. Revoir, Rafe Beckett,
No, we've already mentioned her.
Giselle.
Giselle.
Yeah, so she was put up at 12.
Oh, I'm sorry, Liam. I completely missed. I missed
No,
that.
you're all
Okay,
right.
okay. So you're on a bigger prices already.
Yes, I can see her continuing to drift. I think the one thing I think this would have been one of the much harder decisions that Ryan Moore's had to make in recent
Yeah.
years. I think because the vibes were that he was going to ride Giselle, and she was as short as 4s earlier in the week. Obviously, he's going to know better than I. But you look at the bare form of Mini Hawk, and the second from Chester ended up finishing 6th of 8 over in France. If you even go back to a maiden win, the second then finished 6th of 12 in a maiden. The third's now rated 78. The fourth finished 3rd and 5th in maidens before winning a week race at Naas. And the fourth from that race finished 9th of 14 and then 9th of 16 is rated 71. Like,
Yes.
There's nothing there on the clock, to the eye, or in the form that makes me think that he's made the right decision. But
Yeah,
my God, what do I know compared to Ryan Moore? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's completely up for discussion because you make the fair point. Like from what we can see, the claims aren't exactly strong, are they? Certainly not stronger than possibly what you can see from Whirl, from Giselle. Is it just the Ryan Moore factor, Jane?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. If I was him, I'd definitely be on, I suppose, the best form technically as well. But I don't know. It's a strange decision, Joe. Because honestly, after the Musadora, I thought he'd be on World, not Giselle. But I thought he'd definitely go with World. But it's a very strange decision. He must be seeing something that we're not.
Because Whirl
I
to me
think
as
she takes
well.
an age to get going. You know what I mean? I think she'll need further in time. She takes an
Yeah.
age to get going. Um,
Yeah.
maybe he'll just buck her out in front. Do you know what I mean?
Let her
Surprise
go.
everybody. Come on, let's go. Catch me if you can, kind of a thing. That could happen because I think it might happen because It's a small field. It's 9 runners. And I think he might say, you know what? I am on the best stair technically. So I'm just going to go from the front. And
Yeah.
that's what he might be doing. Where he says, like, Giselle might have been too keen over a mile and a half, and Whirl was probably better at 10 furlongs.
Cool.
And that's what he might be saying.
Yeah, fair enough. And they wouldn't want it to turn into a sprint as well, because then Mini Hawk would probably struggle. It's a
Yeah.
proper.
But I think he'll just grind it if I think that's the way
She's
what is to say, what do I know Ryan Moore's tactic? And he said, but I think that's what he's going to do.
she needs to go out in front, doesn't she, and make it a stamina test, Mini Hawk. But there's not a lot of pace in the race. It might turn into a little bit of a sprint, which could suit the favourite, could suit Whirl. Giselle might not mind it. Albertine's got a massive speed figure, so she might enjoy that too. It's an interesting race, and I am boringly going to be siding with the favourite. And it sounds like Liam, you're going with Giselle.
Yeah, I am. Hopefully, she settles a bit better for a quicker pace, Joe.
Yeah,
And yeah, I think yeah, Ryan Moore should be on her.
or should be on Giselle. There we go. And then Jamie, just to confirm your selection.
Uh, Desert Flower and Albertine each way.
Yeah, fine. Okay. Well, I'll go with Desert Flower. Hopefully, that Godolphin can, be rewarded the 2,000, 1,000 guineas and back it up by winning these two classics. Doesn't happen very often, though, so I wouldn't be surprised if they don't at the same time. Um, we've obviously got some decent racing elsewhere, lads. I haven't looked any further at this point in time. Jamie, have you got some best bets of the weekend or anything elsewhere or whatever? Anything to add?
The one that stood out, Joe, it was third behind. It's the 2 o'clock that punched. I think it's 2 o'clock punched on Sunday. It's 2.5 mile handicap chase. Uh, C Music won the race, the novice handicap at Punchestown,
I
and I
remember.
backed Blizzard of Oz, and I was sick that Blizzard of Oz didn't win. Now C Music fell the last day in the Mayo National at Ballinrobe, but the third that day, what Danny Mullins was doing, I don't know what he was doing. To be honest, he had him out the back. But finally, I think Lisnagar Fortune has that 2.5 mile handicap chase in it. So if he runs on Sunday, I'll be backing him.
Yeah, okay. Course winner as well, I noticed. I haven't really looked at the race sort of thing, but okay. Is that your best bet of the weekend, James, or is your best bet Desert Flower? You seem pretty strong on her.
Trying to think. Come back to me.
Cool. Liam, have you had a look elsewhere or just what we've discussed so far? It's pretty much what I've done.
Yeah, I've stuck up a couple over Oddschecker. I don't want to get shot by suggesting those, and also prices have gone really. And obviously I'm so price sensitive. It wouldn't be right for me to offer them up when the price is no longer there. One that everyone, I think, in my opinion, needs to keep their eye on. It will be price dependent again as to whether I play it. But Valvano in the 4:15 at Epsom on Saturday, I'm really keen on him for Rafe Beckett. I think that he's definitely got a few handicap wins in him over the course of this season and some nice pots. So Valvano in the 4:15 on Saturday, mate, is one for people to keep an eye on. His price.
There we go. Then there we go. A nice little dark horse from Liam. My bet of the week. Look, I want it to be Ruling Court because I'm a big fan of this horse. He obviously won for me and anyone that followed me at much bigger prices this season already. But I am really sweet on Skellett, the filly that runs on the Friday. I must say I do really fancy her chances, an each way bet to nothing. I'm more than happy to assume that she'll finish in the top 3 with the group form that she has on offer. So for now, anyway, I'm probably going to back Skillett at some point. I have already backed Ruling Court and I have already backed Desert Flower, but of course, keep an eye out on Oddschecker for our column. Jamie, did you have time to think of something or did you just have a blank?
I have.
Good, go on. Yes, with
I'm
it.
going to go to Saratoga and the Belmont Stakes.
Whoa, taking
It's
us
a Kentucky. It's a Kentucky first, second, and third against each other of Sovereignty for Godolphin, Journalism on the Preakness,
Yeah,
and the horse that should have won the Kentucky Derby if it wasn't, as they say, sloppy at the Kentucky Derby. But Baeza, who finished third, I backed Baeza that day, and I think the further it was going, you'd have beaten the other two. So I think it's like 4-5 to find out. I think so. At the top of my head, I'll take on the Kentucky Derby winner and the Preakness winner. And the third of the Kentucky Derby, Baeza will beat the two of them. There's your best bet.
Saratoga Saturday. Yeah, all right, okay.
Saratoga Saturday.
What time have people got to stay up to, Jay, to see if
Yeah.
they've left in?
The following day.
Midnight. Midnight.
Fine. All right, lads.
I'll
Well,
be up because I'll be up because I'll be just in the door from coming home from Limerick, between Cork versus Limerick and the hurling. So
no,
I'll be
yeah.
home to watch this. Be
So
cheering them on.
so what? You going to watch that this weekend? Are you
Yeah,
like live? So does that mean you'll be out late because you said you're not going to be back to then, or is it just
yeah.
because?
I'll be watching. I'll be watching the derby on the phone inside the stadium.
Oh, okay. So you're out all day for that,
Yeah.
and you're just basically going out after, and that's why you won't be back till come in. Got you. See, worked it out in the end.
We're going to Limerick for that.
How far have you got to travel for that?
No.
Oh, easy,
Yeah.
easy. Yeah, and what are you getting up to
Easy.
this weekend then?
This weekend, not an awful lot, Joe. I'm just going to sit in. I'm going to enjoy the racing with copious amounts of cups of tea and a whole bag of hobnobs. Probably that's my plan.
Oh, you what? It sounds like we're going to be doing the same thing. Okay, well, thank you very much, everyone that's tuned in. We really do appreciate it. Might have seemed a little bit ropey to you. I certainly felt like it because we've been off the camera for a fair few weeks now, but we are going to be back to the weekly episodes, and this just gets us back into the swing of things. We are tomorrow re-recording, like I said, our National Hunt season review. Probably going to be a good couple of hours long, so feel free to sort of dip in and dip out. We've got our good friend Sean Dunn from the finishing line joining us. We're going to be going through all of the novice hurdlers, the novice chasers, the championship races. We've got some questions sort of for the end of the episode as well to sort of spice things up a bit, some fancies for the following year, maybe some like our horse of the year, a few bits and pieces like that. If you want to get involved, please do drop us a message. We can add your question to the show. Thanks everyone for tuning in as usual. Lads, thank you very much. I'll talk to you off camera anyway, but we'll be back again tomorrow with our season review and we'll see you all soon. Bye for now.